Welcome to a whatbinder.com educational video. Good morning. Today we're going to talk about the media triangle. The media triangle is a tool that you use to come to figure out what the main meaning, the true meaning of a text is. Now, a text can be anything from a song, to a picture, to a story, to a video game, almost anything in between. The media triangle has three sides to it. First, we would look at the text, then we would look at the audience, and then we would look at the creation process. We are going to take a look at this image here. Whatever the problem, talk to us. Free anonymous counseling 24/7 by phone or by web. Kids Help Phone. This image is going to be the text that we use as we guide our way through the media triangle to discover the true meaning of this text. So first, what type of text is this? Well, we know that this is a poster. It's the type of thing you might find on a school wall, or on a classroom, or in the mall. There's all sorts of places you might find this taped up. It's meant to be large and visual and get attention. What story does this tell? When I look at this image, I instantly think of a child who's being bullied. That's the story that jumps out to me straight away. How does it tell this story? Well, there's a lot of things going on in the images. There's a locker. There's some clothes sticking out to it as if it's been closed in a hurry. The school itself doesn't seem to be that clean, doesn't seem to be that well lit. And there is that cord going into the locker. Some people might not know what that cord is. But when I see it, I think immediately of an old telephone cord that would be reaching all the way in. So the story that I see is of a kid who's been shoved into a locker that's using a phone to look for help. Is equity depicted in this text? That's hard to say. We don't know anything about who's in the locker. We don't know anything about the school. Equity doesn't really seem to come into play in this text. It could be anybody there, but it's not specifically targeting anything. What stereotypes are present? Well, the idea that bullying happens in high school, that's a really big stereotype, and the way that that bullying happens is another part of the stereotype. The idea of a kid being shoved into a locker, that's a definite stereotype that you may have seen on any number of television shows or movies. What values does it express? When I look at this image, whatever the problem, talk to us, it seems to be saying that it's okay to seek help. It's okay to ask for help when you need it. And do I share the values of this text? I do. I absolutely think that people need to be able to speak out when they're going through a trouble, when they're having issues. We always need to be able to have somebody that we can talk to that can help us through things. We don't need to be able to do anything on our own. Now, normally we might just look at the text and say, well, that's all there is to it. This is the text and this is the information being put forward. But with the media triangle, to get to the true meaning, we need to look at the audience and the creation. Now, why is that? Well, we'll take a look at that in a moment. So who is the target audience of this text? I would say it's high school students. Or maybe students in general. But when I think of elementary school students, I think of half lockers, and these look like the full-size lockers to me. That's one of those elements that targets that audience. Another, I think, is that it's Kids Help Phone. It's not Adults Help Phone. It's not a teacher hiding in that locker. It's specifically trying to connect to youth. So again, when I see this, I can almost see my own school with those tile floors and those lockers and the clothes shoving out of them as if someone's hastily closed it up. Does it appeal to me? It does, because I understand the story that's being told. It makes sense to me. I like that the text is very large in the bottom. All of the visual information I need seems to be in the top. There's a leading line of the phone cord that's taking me into the picture. and then the bottom has all of the information that I need to contact them. What changes to this text are required for it to appeal? Well, again, to me, I understand it because I know what that phone cord is. But I've heard from a lot of students that they don't know what that is. They think it's a rope. They're not connecting it with the telephone. So changing it to a cell phone is something that I've heard many, many times could make it more appealing. And students say that kids aren't bullied this way anymore. Nobody's shoving you into a locker is what I keep hearing. They're instead excluding you from group chats, or they're sending text messages behind your back. Cyberbullying is the way of bullying right now. So making it a close-up of a phone that depicts some of those messages or depicts the exclusion from the group chat might make it more appealing. And what audience would be put off by this text? That seems strange, but if we really want to think about it, if there is someone who bullies others and does that in order to exert their own dominance, they might be put off by this. They might not want people knowing that there's a way to find help or someone to talk to. So while I think the average person would not be put off by this text, there are some people who might not like it existing. So now we've looked at the text and what it says. We know who it's targeting. It would be very different if this poster was made for adults. If it was made for adults, maybe it would be about trying to inform adults that this exists and help them get the information they need to tell their students. But I think this is directly targeting students and trying to let them know where they can get the information. Now we need to look at creation. Who made this text? Well, we know from the bottom that it's the Kids Help Phone. What do I know about the creator of this text? Well, I know that the Kids Help Phone exists to help those in need. If I didn't know that, I could go to the website that's there and find that out really quickly. I know that they offer free anonymous counseling. That's right there on the poster. And that you can do it any time of day, any day of the week, through a phone or through the internet. What has the creator done to grab the target audience's attention? Again, I think they're trying to appeal to the audience by showing them a familiar environment, something that they are aware of, something that they can relate to. And who profits from this media text? That's really important, because if this wasn't free anonymous counseling, if this was paid counseling, the true meaning of this text would be very different. But the Kids Help Phone is not there to take your money. They're there to talk to students in a time of need. So who profits? If we really need to think about it, if we're really following the money, I guess the people who work for Kids Help Phone are profiting. Jobs are being created for them. But they're not there to stuff their pockets. They're not there to get rich, and they're not doing it at the expense of anybody. The service is being offered free of charge. And how can I influence the creation of a similar text? Well, if you're thinking that this poster does not appeal to you, and you're thinking, they've got this all wrong, in the past, we may not have been able to change it. There was a marketing department, and they created the advertisements. But now, with Facebook, with Twitter, you can go online and tweet at them directly, communicate with them directly, and say, I love your poster, but. And maybe they'll listen to you and create something similar to what you think is best. Not only that, but look at this poster. It's one image with some text on the bottom. You could make this easily in a number of free softwares. So how could you help influence the creation of a similar text in the future? You could make it from scratch and send it to them, tweet it at them, share it around. And if they see it, they might understand that this is a stronger message. So now we've looked at the text. What does it say? What values are expressed in it? The audience, who is it for? And the creation, what has it been made for? Because we know that this is a text depicting someone being bullied, and that the audience is high school students, and that it's created by somebody who's not looking to profit, we know the true meaning of this text is just to help people in need. Students, high school students in need, they want you to call if you feel that you're going through something. So that is the media triangle. We're going to take a look at this picture again. And remember, If you need help, they're there to talk to you any time of day, by phone or by web. You can reach the Kids Help Phone at 1-800-668-6868 or at kidshelpphone.ca. Hopefully you have a good understanding of the media triangle and a good understanding of what Kids Help Phone is for.